Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Can you guys all hear me in the back? Hi. I'm Ed Glassman. I'm the director of the Center for Entrepreneurial Leadership. I'm a little nervous, just like your student. And I've had the pleasure of working with a group of young entrepreneurs over the last 8 weeks to bring to life some really incredible and fun ventures. This is the CEL Venture Incubator Program, where we have students from middle school and upper school here at Springside Chestnut Hill Academy come, apply with their ideas for products, services, nonprofit organizations, social movements, video games, and we pair them with incredible mentors, and we walk them through an intensive after-school program that culminates today with Demo Day, their chance to tell you about what they've been working on. It is a lot of fun working with these students, especially because this work comes from such an incredible place of passion, enthusiasm, commitment. This is an ungraded program. The students are purely doing this because they have a dream. They have something they care about, and they want to bring it to life. And it energizes me every day. It's the reason I come to work in the morning, and it's really my treat to have an opportunity to work with these young entrepreneurs. The reason this program happens is thanks to mentorship. So we identify people from the Springside Chestnut Hill community and broader Philadelphia community that are entrepreneurs, that have business experience in various areas, and we pair them with these young entrepreneurs. And every week they meet with them and they give them feedback and guidance and suggestions, and it's this incredible relationship and this bond that forms over the course of the 8 weeks. Today, those mentors will be introducing the students before they present, but I'd like to just take a moment to thank all of the mentors before we get started. So if you just hold your applause until the end, I'd like to thank Glenn Eulendorf, Lori Smith, Peter Ernst, Deidre McRae and Mindy Glassman, Craig Johnson, Amanda Dahl, Vincent Day, Leslie Newbold, Mark Greenberg, Kristen Norton, Ray Flanagan, Peggy Grady, Tom Koskika, and I'd be remiss if I didn't thank one really important guy, Ian Crayer, who's standing in the back over here. Yeah, round of applause for Ian. Ian stepped in midway through the year to the CEL program to help me with the Venture Incubator, to teach a 10th grade class on entrepreneurship, and he has been an incredible partner, and I couldn't do without him. So how about a round of applause for Ian and all of our mentors here today. 2 years ago, the group of people that are sitting to your left, our CEL board members, envisioned a program where students would be able to bring their business ideas to life. And it's thanks to them that this program exists in the first place. So thanks to Laura Johnson, Mark Greenberg, Vanessa Chan, Cheryl Winston-Smith, and the rest of our board members, who I'm sure will be arriving shortly. They're all busy entrepreneurs themselves. Please, a round of applause for our board members. Okay, so I have the pleasure of kicking us off by introducing Vicki Cohen, our first presenter this afternoon. Unfortunately, her mentor, Glenn Eulendorf, is out of town, but it's really a treat that I get to present and introduce her, because Vicki is the example of that passion-based entrepreneur that I was just talking about. Vicki's got this incredible love of small animals, lizards today, last time it was fish, and she builds these businesses and these inventions around that passion. And that's what makes this program so incredible, is that students can take their love of whatever and bring it to life. And I'm really excited for Vicki to have a chance to tell you about ReptiManager. So without further ado, Vicki, would you like to take the stage?
Okay, thank you so much. That meant a lot. I'm Vicki Cohen, and my project's the ReptiManager, a simple way to keep track of your reptiles. So this is my lizard Cinnamon. He is real, I assure you. I received him earlier this year from a friend who couldn't keep him, and I've been taking care of him, and he's changed my life. He's helped me envision this. It means a lot to me, him. So UVB bulbs are a certain bulb that reptiles need to survive. Well, reptiles outside survive on it with the use of the sun, which emits vitamin D3. This vitamin D3 is also emitted by the UVB bulbs. Without this vitamin D3, reptiles can get metabolic bone disease, or MBD. This is an example of a green iguana who had the metabolic bone disease. On the left is a healthy one's x-ray, and on the right is one that had the deformity. My solution is the ReptiManager. The ReptiManager is an app that notifies you when a bulb is due to go out as long as you enter the data, or whenever it's going to come out, or whenever you assume it's going to go out, which is about 3 months for most UVB bulbs. If you say yes to a certain checkbox, it'll send you a reminder a week before this due date to go out and buy the bulb so you aren't rushing to the store. This app is meant for all reptile owners. I created this app to decrease the levels of MBD in household reptiles, to help people with a more convenient care schedule, and I've planned a forum for ways to communicate with more experienced reptile owners. So here's my miniature demonstration. On the top, you see the new timers, where you can create a new timer, and it'll ask for about how long it's going to until you get the reminder sent to you, about how long, about what it's about, such as breeding them or pairing them, incubating eggs, feeding a large snake, which you feed them like every week. So you got to remember that. Then in this, for example, would be what I would have. You can click on those, which will have what timers you already have set, and you can see about how long till they expire. And then we have the forums. The forums are a big part, because otherwise you could just use calendars instead of my app. The forums are where you can communicate with more and less experienced reptile owners and get help or help others. I have one competitor already on the market. This is Reptile Scan. Reptile Scan, while it does have a QR code scanner, it's meant for those reptile breeders who breed hundreds a day and sell them for high prices. It's also $25 to buy it. My app is simple, free, but it's not on the market yet. Another thing about Reptile Scan that really sets it forward, or backwards in some cases, is that it's meant to document more than take care of your reptiles. You can mark your snakes or lizards or whatever as sold, as you forgot to feed it, so you need to feed it extra. My target customers, to be exact, are reptile owners with access to the internet who need help keeping track of things like me sometimes, and need help with reptile issues, which is the forums. I have 4,214,000 potential customers. I got this number by taking the amount of people who actually have their internet access and the reptile owners, and got this number. I went to the East Coast Super Reptile Expo to do a bit of research and to shop. So I asked approximately 10 people what they were thinking. These people were buying reptiles, selling reptiles, or anything in between. The majority of people said they had no system when it came to taking care of their reptiles, while others said they used note cards and checked off when they fed them, and some said they used a spreadsheet. When I explained my idea to them and how it was going to work, they all supported the idea and said they would buy it. Right now, I'm deciding between getting an app developer or coding it myself. The developer won't take long, but it can cost quite a bit. Doing it myself, it's free, but takes at least 3 months just to learn the basics. When I asked these people what they would buy it for, they said about $2 for each timer. And the majority of reptile owners that own at least one reptile have 3. So that would be approximately $6 if there were to be 4 reptiles. I've searched up advertisements, or how much I would be paid for, or how much it would cost to have advertisements, and I've looked into it, but I have not found anything yet. The cost to get on the Google Play Store, since this is developed for Androids, is a $25 one-time cost, and the app developer about $5,000, so that is how I got my total cost. Right now, I'm looking for an app developer if I decide to use one at a good price, donations and/or funding, and advertising opportunities. Thank you so much to Mr. Eulendorf, Mr. Glassman, and Mr. Crayer. Thank you.
Wonderful job, Victoria. Let's start with some questions from our board members, if you guys would like to start, and then we'll take a couple questions from the audience.
That was a great presentation, and I don't know how you give a presentation with a reptile on your arm, because I would be not able to focus. So great you have that passion. So I love kind of the idea of where you're going with this, and it feels like there's an unmet need around this light. The question I have for you is, are there other functionalities that reptile owners potentially may want that would allow you to charge more than $6 for the app?
Well, it's not exactly $6 for the app, it's for every additional timer, but I'm considering having sort of a map on there, which would be a separate link, but it would have what foods certain reptiles can eat, because it's pretty horrible going to the market and not remembering if the lizard can eat iceberg lettuce or spinach.
And are people currently charging for the forums? Like, one of the things that intrigued me was this idea you have a button where you can click and get advice, which I think is always very helpful. So the competitors out there, do they charge for those kind of forums, and those forums exist today?
None of my competitors have forums, and that's what really puts me ahead. I don't think that I'm going to charge for the forums, but if I do, I would have people charge. I would charge people very cheaply, but just to post something, just to start a conversation saying, "Help! I need to find someone to sell me a lizard," and to respond to that would be free.
Hi, great job. I love the idea and the presentation. I'm curious, I think that 4.2 billion customers would be fantastic to reach. I'm curious if there's a way to maybe narrow the market to start with. So maybe there's some local reptile owner groups, or through local pet stores that sell reptiles. I'm wondering if if you have a sense of where you might start within that 4.2 billion.
Well, if I were to start, I'd start with pet shops nearby, asking them to sort of promote it, say, cool, if you want to buy a reptile, you can also buy this app to help you. And I might start with word of mouth.
Great, and then just a follow-on question. In your survey, did you survey pet store owners, or did you primarily survey reptile owners?
I surveyed both.
Okay, great.
I just want to say you did an excellent job. You always do a fantastic job. I love your personal connection to this. I love you indicating the total market size. I love the screenshot, so I really think it's interesting. It felt like, based on your feedback, it was less about the MBD issue and more about some of the other services, it sounds like, which I think was really great for you to listen to what your consumers were asking for. So I just want to say great job.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any audience questions? All right, you guys will warm up, I'm sure. Okay, Victoria, wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, actually, give it to Lori. Okay.
Lori, do you want to introduce? Here you go.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking time to come out on this lovely, beautiful February day. My name is Lori Smith. I am the president of the Parents Association here at SCH Academy. And I had the pleasure of mentoring both Gabby Sasson and Abigail Smith. And I must say, these girls are committed, dynamic, and diligent. They have been such a pleasure to work with, and I'm so excited for them, and I hope you enjoy their presentation because they worked very hard on it. So without further ado, I would like to introduce the dynamic duo.
Whew, I really need someone to coach my run.
Hi, my name is Gabby and I am in 8th grade.
And my name is Abigail Smith, and I am in 6th grade. Gabby and I both run middle school cross country.
We have created an app called CoachMyRun to help all runners on the off season. We have faced the problem of not having good and personalized workouts. The apps out there don't give us what we need to improve. When you search something like this, the results aren't always for middle school girls. Some of the results aren't even for runners.
We have the solution. Runners need workouts fit for them and feedback from coaches. We bring you Coach My Run.
Raise your hand if you're a runner. Do you use a running app? There are many apps out there, but Coach My Run is the one for you.
Coach My Run has real coaches, is cheaper and better than competition, and even has a chat mode. Our workouts are personalized, and we include incentives.
We sent out surveys to the SCH runners and their coaches. One question that we asked the runners was, would you be more likely to run with Coach My Run? 68.8% said yes.
We also asked what motivates them, and a lot of them said food and a goal. Coach My Run is a running app for coaches and runners that will include a training schedule and a chat mode, so it's like social media. It will also track your progress so you can see your improvement.
Unlike other apps, Coach My Run has real coaches, not computerized coaches. Coach My Run is for both runners and coaches. The runners should be experienced and, of course, love their job. This would be an app for them to help their runners on the off-season.
The runners should be age 12 and up, since that is around the age when kids start running. The runners should also have a phone and be serious about running. Anyone can be a runner so long as if they want to get on their feet and run the miles. Even though our app is geared towards kids, adults can use it too.
Our direct competitors include Runkeeper, MapMyRun, Strava, and Personal Running Trainer. All of our direct competitors are apps.
Our indirect competitors include Philadelphia Runner, Girls on the Run, and RunnersWorld.com.
This is a graph that shows what we have versus what our competitors have. Our two biggest competitors are Personal Running Trainer and MapMyRun.
On our homepage, you can find your coach, chat with friends, see our partners, get feedback, see your personal workouts and personal record. This is where the coaches can post the workouts for the runner. Our app has a social media aspect to it, in which coaches can chat with coaches and runners can chat with runners. Coaches can also post graphs for the runner to see their improvement.
On this page, you can text with your coach to give them an easy update and fast. We also have a homepage button on each of our pages, so the app is easy to access. This is where you can see your PR, or personal record. Our final part of the app includes a rewards program, or incentives. So for example, if you run 5 miles, you could get a coupon for one of our partners. Our partners could include Nike, Vitamin Water, Gatorade, Adidas, and Indigo Sky. Indigo Sky is a local running store that we interviewed. If our app got out there, Indigo Sky would already be a partner.
As you can see, the majority of our costs is an app developer. We would entail seed money to get our app on the market.
First, we would like to thank the SCH coaches and their cross-country and track coaches. We would like to thank Mr. Glassman, Mr. Crayer,
Indigo Sky, the local running store we interviewed, my mom, Dr. Cheryl Winston Smith, and finally, our wonderful mentor, Miss Lori Smith.
I'm ready to download Coach My Run. What about you?
Thank you. Any questions?
That was one of the most energetic and well-rehearsed pitches I've You guys were like pretty much each other's sections, no instantly, so really, really well done. I had a question for you around the business model. We kind of went through that slide really quickly. So I want to understand from you, how much are you planning to charge for the app, and how are you going to recruit and pay the coaches?
Well, we were planning on using a freemium option, which is where you could give the runner one run per week, and then for free, and then they'd have to pay for for the real thing with the paid for workouts.
And then what about the coaches then? Are you going to pay the coaches?
Yeah, we were thinking to pay the coaches like $1,000 maybe.
But it would be really up to the coach because they would have to take on extra runners during the off season. So if they didn't want to do it, this wouldn't be the app for them.
So if you're paying the coaches $1,000, how many runners would that be supporting?
There's 2 to 4 runners per coach.
So then we need to make sure there's at least like $250 being paid by those runners then, directly to the coach. Is that what you're thinking? Or is it more like there's ads that are helping instead?
I think we would probably use ads to help us get the money because I've noticed I try out a lot of different running apps and I've noticed they use ads too, so.
I completely agree with Dr. Chammy. The presentation was really beautifully put together. It was very concise and clear. I also very much appreciate the way you laid out the startup costs. It was very easy to understand. The approximately $22,000 you thought you needed to get the business going, and that's what you needed in terms of seed money. But building on Dr. Chan's comments, I'm also curious to understand what your business plan looks like. How much revenue are you intending? How much revenue do you think you can drive off of your customer base? Because if you would like to do partnerships with larger businesses like Nike and Vitamin Water, typically they pick their agreements with companies based on how much revenue they can generate in the agreement. So they would need to know how much money you expect to make before they would want to work with you. Have you taken that plan to the next step to think about how much money you can make with this endeavor?
I think as of now, we're just trying to see if we can get enough coaches and enough runners to support our app, and then we would take it to the next level.
Yeah,
Well, it seems like a great idea.
thank you.
Do we have any audience questions for CoachMyRun? I'm doing the microphone.
Where are the coaches coming from, and how do you qualify them to be a coach for your program?
Well, we emailed our running coaches, our cross-country coaches, and we sent out a survey to a number of coaches at our school, but also like my uncle coaches track, and Gabby's brother runs cross-country, so these are coaches that we know from our coaches too, so.
So we would try to find coaches from local schools, and then they would just be qualified because they already have the job at the school.
So I agree with everyone else. That was a super pitch. I was curious as to how you decided on 2 to 4 coaches, because it strikes me that one of the things that might help leverage the app is if coaches could take on more runners. But I'm not a runner, so I don't know if that's like a normal number or what research or questions you asked to get to that.
In the survey that we sent out to the coaches, we asked them how many runners they would like or be able to take on, and a lot of them said 2 to 4, because cross-country or usually just cross-country teams are usually pretty small. So I know last year we had like 10 people or something for 3 coaches, so.
Okay, we have time for one more question, if there is one. Okay, great. Our first student question.
If a runner was unsatisfied with their coach, would there be a way for them to pick another coach?
Yes, we actually would have a page where you can get to know your coach and try different coaches out.
Yeah, because your coach would have other coaches as friends, so you could try out those coaches and see.
Okay, how about another round of applause for CoachMyRun? Before Mr. Ernst introduces, but stay right there. One of the things I love about this program is you get a really interesting glimpse into the influential consumers that are going to be shaping our economy over the course of the next 20 years. And I'm really interested to see your reaction from CoachMyRun, where there's this real person on the other end of the app, as well as Julianna, who's about to present another teen-focused fitness app that also has this real person component to it. It's interesting to think, not only are these entrepreneurs, but they're also people that are thinking about what they'd want to see out of apps. So I wonder if this is the direction that fitness apps will be going, finding ways to have real feedback on the other end. Anyway, now I'm going to let Mr. Ernst.
Thank you. My name's Peter Ernst. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce Julianna Smith, who's gone through all of the emotions of an entrepreneur, including potential mergers, and this morning a Wall Street Journal article about Fitbit. So I introduce Julianna and Teen Fit.
Thank you, Mr. Ernst, for that perfect introduction. I really enjoyed working with you on Teen Fit, and now I'm excited to share Teen Fit with you. Wouldn't it be great to have a voice that is constantly providing positive and constructive information with everything you see? That idea was the base of Teen Fit, a voice that could be provided through an app to help teens embrace a healthy lifestyle. My name is Julianna Smith, and I've been working on an app called Teen Fit. Teen Fit is an app that is compatible with a Fitbit. It provides purposeful and positive guidance to teens so they can develop healthy habits. Every week, the teen receives an email from a staff member regarding their performance the past week. Child obesity and unhealthy decisions starting at a young age is a large problem in the United States and around the world. These issues threaten the lives of teenagers and the future generation. Developing healthy habits at a young age makes you more likely to maintain them as an adult. So the solution to these problems are encouraging and guiding teenagers to develop healthy habits at this impressionable time. Teen Fit provides personalized healthy lifestyle guidance on 3 aspects of a healthy lifestyle: exercise, nutrition and hydration, and sleep. I've been working on the app design for Teen Fit. It is an interactive and easy to navigate iPhone and Android-based platform. It provides a connection between the customer and a person educated in healthy living. Teen Fit targets health-conscious teenagers. Whether they identify as unhealthy or not, there's always room to improve. Teen Fit is going to start out focusing on the United States. There are over 41 million teens in the United States. Around 38,500,000 own a phone and use it frequently. Around 13 million of them are overweight or obese. Approximately 11 million own a fitness band, and 5,916,909 own a Fitbit specifically. So this means 5,916,909 fit the target market. So to understand the target market, I interviewed a couple SCH students. They all said they were interested in the concept of the app. I then asked what aspect of the app would benefit them most, and they said exercise. The most surprising part of the interview was when I asked how the app would benefit them in their day-to-day life. Almost all of them said academic performance, which was something I didn't put into perspective when I thought of the benefit of the app. MapMyRun, Wristband Manager, and Every Move are just a few examples of apps that are compatible with a Fitbit. The Let's Move campaign is doing an outstanding job in engaging kids into healthy activities. This chart shown is a competitive analysis of a few direct competitors. I've highlighted a few ways that they have differentiated themselves from a couple of their competitors. Pact, the first one, sends a certain amount of money to the customer after a certain amount of exercise is completed. Runkeeper, the second one, has an automated coach option that sends the customer a personalized workout for them. And now this is how I stand out. TeenFit sends the customer suggested tips and feedback to improve your lifestyle. Instead of having a computer on the other end, TeenFit has a real person suggesting and giving feedback to the customer. The information is geared towards the needs of teenagers as they evolve and mature. To further develop my app, I will need to hire an app developer, and this startup expense requires a lot of money, so I will also need a sum of money to pay for it. In addition, TeenFit requires knowledge on what a healthy lifestyle looks like. The source of this information are qualified nutritionists. One of the things I struggled with was deciding if I would write the code for my app myself or hire an app developer. If I wrote the code myself, it would not cost any money. However, it would take 1 year just to learn the basics of writing an app. And if I hired an app developer, it would take 2 to 3 months to write the app, but it would cost almost $30,000 just as the base price, and even more as features get added. Through the CEL Venture Incubator, I was able to grow as an entrepreneur. I learned how to interview my target market, use feedback to my ability, and collaborate with others. CoachMyRun is another group working on a similar app. We discussed the advantages and disadvantages of working together. We decided it would not be beneficial to collaborate our apps. However, the code for our apps are similar, and they are so similar that we could write one app. Through this experience, I was able to grow as an entrepreneur and collaborate with others, even though they could be a competitor down the road. Thank you so much for listening. Any questions?
Hi. I just want to say that was absolutely outstanding. The slide deck was at the college, maybe MBA level. I think if you added screenshots of what the app would look like and how it would operate, I think not only would you be at that MBA level, but you could potentially win a competition. So I just thought it was really, really outstanding. Really, obviously did a lot of hard work. Loved the data, loved everything. It's really great.
She's in 8th grade, folks.
Yeah, I could not agree more. I mean, that was the first thing that I wrote down, was that you are an extremely compelling speaker, and the quality of the deck is extremely professional. It looks great. It absolutely looks like you're getting yourself ready to pitch to private equity to get some backing. So that's a tremendous positive. One of the things I also really appreciated about where you are in the stage of the process is that you're sharing with us your learnings from what you've experienced as you went through the process in the entrepreneurship program. And I'm curious to know a little bit more about that. When you compared yourself to other members in your cohort who had a similar business idea and you found that actually you could almost go about it the same way, did that encourage you to keep going? Are you excited about moving forward and taking this to the next level and developing a business plan? Or did that discourage you a little bit and make you rethink whether or not your idea was viable?
I think it definitely encouraged me to keep on moving forward with my idea, and they even gave me feedback on what I should do to improve my app, and I gave them feedback on what they can do to improve their app as well.
That's great. Thank you very much. Good work.
Just to echo, like, I love your slide deck, and I've done 14 years of slide decks, so you're doing a really good job there. One question I had for you was understand a little bit of how this differentiates with Fitbit or even some of the other apps out there. Is it the fact that you have a nutritionist behind it versus a coach?
Yes, that's the differentiation. Because most of my competitors, they use automated coaches, or just their apps are very automated and they have a computer on the other end. But my app has a real person who is educated in healthy living to provide suggestions and tips to improve your lifestyle.
And so one question I have is, with my kids, they don't have a lot of control over what they eat. We kind of do the grocery shopping and things like that. So how would this logistically work if there's a nutritionist coaching my kid on what should be done? How does that kid then get control and actually implement some of what the nutritionist is suggesting?
Well, the nutritionist is suggesting what you should be eating and complimenting you on what you are eating already. And usually those suggestions should lead you to eat better foods and exercise more and get more sleep so you can actually improve your lifestyle.
I also echo what everyone said. Fantastic job, just great. I think it's a great idea and also super execution in the slides and the presentation. I'm curious, in terms of, so it sounds like you're going to try to go the route of developing the app yourself. And then I'm curious, are you going to then try to recruit a nutritionist as part of your staff, or have you thought about how you would staff this going forward?
The nutritionists, they provide the information before the app is sent out, so they can write the rule book about what a healthy lifestyle actually looks like. And I have actually connected with a nutritionist about how much she would want to be paid for her work. And she said that the qualification also comes into terms when you're deciding which nutritionist you want to use to provide the information.
And then my other follow-on question is, how much would you be trying to charge for this? Do you have a sense of that?
Yes. So it would be a free download, but also there is a premium cost, sorry, which is $49.99. And the premium cost includes the feedback and the suggestions, but the free download is just all of the features that are included except for the personalized guidance.
Can I pay you to do a presentation for me next month? I was a little unclear on the financial model, how you'll pay for how you'll make money, basically how you'll cover your costs with the folks that you'd have to pay.
Well, the premium cost that each customer pays for when they get the app would cover the cost for the nutritionist and the app.
And so you've researched the nutritionist cost, I guess is my question.
Oh, yes. I connected with a nutritionist, and she said that it was $20 to $25 for what she would work for, but she has a different level of qualification than other nutritionists, so the cost would vary depending on their qualification.
Great job. I'm curious, what was the most challenging aspect of working on this project and being part of the Venture Incubator? What was hard? What really tested you?
I think it was all very challenging, but it was a good challenge, I think, because I got a good learning experience out of it, and I definitely want to work on this project after the Venture Incubator.
Thank you so much. Teacher, would you like to come up and introduce Kellie?
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Deirdre McRae, and together with Mindy Glassman and Ivy, we're mentors for Kellie Graves. Kellie is an amazing young lady. She has a passion for learning, and it truly shows, and it's evident in all the work that she's done. It's been both an honor and a privilege to work with Kellie.
Thank you for that amazing introduction, Mrs. McRae. Diversity, noun, the state of being diverse or variety. Hi, I'm Kellie Graves, and today I will be presenting my on-the-go diversity app, You and Me. I'm an 8th grade student who's very interested in diversity and inclusion work. I've started an affinity group, attended numerous diversity and leadership conferences, and as a student council member, work closely with Diversity Club and plan events with them. And one day, I'm going to help spread diversity across the globe. What exactly is cultural competence? Cultural competence is a set of congruent behaviors, attitudes, and policies that come together in a system, agency, or among professionals and enable that system, agency, or those professions to work effectively in cross-cultural situations. I'm taking on the challenge of spreading diversity and cultural competence because there is a lack of knowledge and interest in diversity in my generation, and you need to have cultural competence to some degree as an adult in the real world. Up here are the results from a survey that I sent out to SCH's middle and upper school bodies. They show that 97% of students know what diversity is and what it means, but only 54% of students think of it often. Furthermore, only 8% of students think of diversity all the time. These numbers alone show how crucial of an issue this is. One of my role models in the world of diversity, Belle Way, who's an administrator at Chico State, said, "Once you understand and appreciate other people's cultural backgrounds, then you can also connect with them more. But in order to begin to appreciate other people's cultural backgrounds, you have to know what diversity is, be interested in diversity, and know facts about that culture or group of people." And that's where I come in. You and Me is a nonprofit, free digital game that can be downloaded as an app onto iPhones, Androids, tablets, and computers. I'm looking to provide an entertaining app for American children ages 6 through 17 while still giving them a learning experience and awareness. There will be a junior version and a regular version so that both kids and teens can be entertained with age-appropriate questions. Target customers of my product would be new parents with young children and any kids and teens with access to electronics. A day in the life of one of my customers would be a young mom is at home, busy working. She just picked up her son from school, and since he's in 1st grade, she had him working on his reading and math. But he's finished that work, and he needs something else to keep him entertained. However, the mom wants the entertainment to be educational. She downloads You and Me Junior for her son on her tablet, and as he begins to play, he's gaining cultural competence at a young age. My total addressable market is smartphone users in the US between ages 25 to 34, which is the average age to have your first child, and ages 8 to 17, or kids and teenagers. This means that 42% of all smartphone users in the US, or about 80,010,000 customers, will be potential customers to You and Me in the future. Still, there are other approaches to teaching diversity. This is my competition. On the far left, there is Guess My Race. They are a $20 app that has a junior version and a regular version like we do. However, they ask questions based solely on race, not all types of diversity as we do. Diversity DNA, Diversity Training, and the American Dream Game are my indirect competitors. Diversity DNA is also a free app like us. However, they're used in the workplace as a means to communicate from employee to employee. And really, you only create your own cultural profile. You don't get to learn that many facts about other cultures or groups of people. Diversity training is also usually done on faculty bodies, like Diversity DNA, so both aren't accessible for all people. Diversity training is also typically expensive, which makes it even less accessible for all people. The American Dream Game is a board game that's targeted towards kids and teenagers like we are. However, they only focus on the challenges and discrimination that certain groups face and not all groups. Overall, what makes us different from our competition, or our unique selling proposition, is that we're easily accessible because we're free and digital, and we're easily transferable. This means that because of our format, the questions used in the You and Me app can then be put in a board game or even be questions asked in classrooms and beyond in the future. An example of this is our deck on FactSumo. FactSumo is a free app that is currently on the App Store for teens and adults. How FactSumo works is you create your own questions and answers, upload them to the FactSumo platform, and then other users of FactSumo can then play that deck and study the material that you have in it and quiz themselves on it. For You and Me, I create true or false and multiple choice questions, send them to the FactSumo team, or I can upload them myself, and that's it. Users of FactSumo can then gain cultural competence and study my deck. So to the left is an iPhone simulation of how our deck is currently listed on FactSumo. It's at the very top. And then to the right is just an example of a question that is currently in my deck. and how it would show up if you answered incorrectly. So it gives you immediate feedback on what you got correct or what you got incorrect. I was able to test this question and many more in 5th and 8th grade classrooms to see if they were easy to comprehend, which is also how I determined the level of difficulty for these questions. One of the things that I struggled with deciding was whether or not I would code myself or get a professional app developer. If I code the app myself, it would take up to a year just to learn the basics of coding. However, it would be free. If I use a professional app developer, it would cost $5,000 to $10,000, but it would only take a few weeks. And if I want a nice login page, like the one you can see up here, a patent, several options of gameplay, different styles of text, images inserted, and everything else that you can see in this iPhone simulation, which is how the real You and Me app would look in the future, then it's going to be expensive. That's why I need $26,000 from an investor, a diversity and inclusion organization, such as the People of Color Conference, or any other types of sponsors, such as individuals, foundations, and corporations. Think for a moment. Can you imagine not knowing anything about anyone else who's a different race than you, or a different gender? How about another sexual orientation, or they speak another language? It's near impossible to be an adult in the real world and not have the least bit of cultural competence, which is why it's so important for kids and teens to gain cultural competence and have an interest in diversity at a young age. You need to have cultural competence as an adult. Before I close, I'd like to give special thanks to Mrs. Glassman and Mrs. McCrae for being great mentors, Mr. Glassman and Mr. Crayer for all their support, and Kim and Kevin Ramirez and the whole Facsumo team for their help and exposure. Thanks for listening. Any questions?
Before we take questions from the board, I just want to take one more moment to thank Kellie. I want to point out something in particular. Here in the CEL program, we talk about students who recognize opportunities in the world around them, right? Challenges that they want to solve, impacts they want to make. Kellie is such an amazing example of this. This is a young woman who saw something in her community and in her world that she wanted to really address, and she took it on over the course of these 8 weeks, and I'm sure she's going to take it even further. So another round of applause for Kellie. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do we have questions from our board members?
Kellie, great job.
Thank you.
I have a question relative to content. I was a little unclear with Facsumo versus like what you're going to, I understand the coding issue. What about the content issue? Are you developing the content or someone else developing content?
I myself am creating the questions and the answers to the questions.
Okay, and is that going to take, how much time do you think that will take beyond coding?
It does not take that much time to create the questions. I was able to create some like just in an hour or so in working with my mentors after school in the Venture Incubator Program. So it really doesn't take that long. We have over 30 right now. And then we're working on multiple choice questions to add to the Facsumo platform.
Gotcha, thank you.
Thank you.
Great job and also a great idea. I'm curious, in terms of the business model, would you be charging people to use this, or are you thinking to promote it more in terms of a social good? How would you, in other words, how would you be promoting this? Is it something that you would be trying to give away, or something that because of its social value, or something you'd be trying to charge in line with sort of other educational types of apps?
I would want to just promote it by word of mouth or other simple advertisements. I would not want it to cost any money to download, because the whole goal and purpose of this app is just for kids and teens to gain cultural competence. I don't want a fee to gain cultural competence and be aware about your surroundings. So.
That was a really polished delivery.
Thank
really,
you.
really well done. Well, you have a lot of confidence, a lot of conviction in what you're talking about. One question I had was understanding, the Facsumo versus trying to create a new platform. Is there a reason why you can't just use the Facsumo if it's available and ready right now? Why is there a need to develop a separate app?
The reason I would develop a separate app is because Factsumo is for teens and adults, and I would want younger kids to still be able to answer questions and to study information. And also for the You and Me Junior, there are several things we discussed about maybe having a glossary of what different things mean, because when I went into the 5th grade classrooms, a lot of the kids didn't know what different types of sexual orientations were, or different facts about religions besides their own. So I would want more information and more stability for the younger kids, being able to access that information and study that.
Would it maybe be cheaper then for you to license the platform from Factsumo, and you actually build off of the platform they've already developed for the 2 different versions that you want?
It probably would be cheaper. Kim Ramirez, she's in the audience right now, if you want to take that.
So, hi, I'm Kim Ramirez. I'm the CEO of Factsumo. We are actually probably within the next 6 months, we are adding game interfaces for younger students. So I'll probably talk to her after that, but she can promote all the content for free and make it available for learning on our site. So not only for students, but and teenagers, but also adults can use it, as well as teachers can use it and easily bring it into the classroom.
Networking in action, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we have time for, we'll take Mark, and then I'll come to you, Lori.
So I just want to say it was really excellent. I love that you're tackling a really important problem here.
Thank you.
I love how you've used data, but you've also really broken down the issue into its components, and that has been a driver in how you're attacking this. I love the approach of gamification, but I think what I love most about it is actually you and your demeanor and the way that you deliver it. So I hope that you really continue. I think you are that very special something that can make this, turn this into a reality.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to commend you. I am so inspired. I just came from a hackathon at Drexel University, and gamification is so underrepresented with females. So there's actually a conference coming up, and I would like to connect you with this conference where they're going to have several key thought leaders in that whole realm and the gamification. And again, thank you for your lovely presentation.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Craig Johnson. I've had the great privilege of being mentor for these 2 gentlemen here, Ryan and Zach. Now, they are good entrepreneurs, I can tell you, and they have a great idea. This will be a shift in gears now from what we've been hearing, because this is a physical product. And if anybody here is a mom or a dad or an aunt or uncle, you listen to them, please be thinking, would you buy this product? Because it's designed for you. And if you board members could take on a different role and view yourselves as venture capitalists, think about, is this a viable product? Is it scalable? Now, we're a little light on the numbers, I think, just because we didn't have time to get to the actual costs of manufacturing. So if you could see yourselves in that way, I will see myself sitting down and introduce the entrepreneurs.
Hello, everybody. It's the iBelt team again, Ryan and Zach, and we are here to show you our newest product, the iHeat. Okay.
One winter day, I was walking down the street with my toes frozen, my fingers with frostbite, and then when I got inside, I huddled next to the radiator and thought, why not put a radiator in your clothes? Now, I'm Ryan Comiskey. I'm in 6th grade, and I love engineering and robotics.
And I'm Zach Shapiro. I'm also in 6th grade, and I love math, science, and programming.
The iHeat is a lightweight, versatile, and affordable coat liner that heats up to varying temperatures. But we have more than that. The iHeat is also an app that allows you to control your clothes' temperature by Bluetooth connection, and it is the heated coat for everybody.
And what sets us apart from our competitors is the app feature. So this is what we think it was going to look like. So on the home screen, you'd be able to choose from your different coat selections, like mom's coat, Bobby Joe's coat, or dad's coat. And then you'd also be able to pair coats, which will take you to the middle screen, where you just open Bluetooth settings, pair, and then come back to the app. And then step 3, it's just that easy. And then once you've paired a coat, you can go to the third iPhone on the right-hand side, the temperature control, where you can control the temperature from warm to warmest or anywhere in between.
We made the iHeat to address a simple problem. People get cold in their commutes during these winter months, and they might even lose their mobility. Some people limit the activities in the winter because they don't want to get cold. The heavy coats that other people wear are cumbersome and are not warm enough. Is there a better way?
Yes, that's why we've created the iHeat, the world's first smartphone-controlled heated liner. And it has a variety of different temperature settings to try to keep the cold more comfortable. Now, who's a target customer? Some of you. So you moms and distant uncles out there, just raise your hands so we can see who our target customer really is. So our target customer is someone who's just going or commuting to work, or just going to a sporting event.
In the United States alone, there are around 90 million U.S. adults from 40 to 65 years old. Over here, we have a heated map of the United States with the Comiskey-Shapiro line. Up in the north of that line, which we call the cold climate adults, is around 54 million people. Now, after doing some extensive research, we found out that only 69% of that population has a smartphone, bringing the number down to 37 million people. Even if we only reach 10% of that population, that's still almost 4 million customers.
Now, speaking of customers, what would they pay? So we were planning to charge about $100 for our heated liner. And most other companies who are making heated clothes charge somewhere from $170 to even $220. And the people we surveyed in our school and our community thought it was a good price. And we estimate that it will cost about $70 to make, and then we would use $1,000 for research and development for prototypes in the first 3 years.
The first competitor that we found was the Warming Store. It's an established e-retailer. We are better at having a liner vest. Most of their bulky coats are too cumbersome and most people don't want to wear them. We also have a phone app, as Ryan said earlier, allowing you to go use a variety of different temperatures. Another competitor are the competitive manufacturers. Now, they might serve their target market, such as the motorcyclists or the construction workers, but we have our target market much more generalized than that, for everybody. And as I also mentioned earlier, we have a phone app allowing you to choose from a variety of different temperatures. But why should you buy our product instead of just an average Joe's jacket? I'll give you a couple reasons. You might like the color or the style of that jacket, but we are much better at warming the user. And as I said earlier, we have a phone app that allows you to change the temperature. And because because we have a phone app allowing you to change it to temperature and you don't have to just put on another coat or another coat, you can even wear your favorite jacket that has your favorite color or your style on top of that.
And let's see what some people thought that we interviewed. So Mr. Johnson said that I would wear the iHeat at games and use it for the entire time. And Bobby said I would use the product while shoveling snow and I'd like it to be an undercoat. And Donna said I would use the product for skiing and I'd want it to be an undercoat.
We're going to work on this product after the incubator is over, and we're going to try and make a working prototype and then refine that. To do this, we're going to need funding so we can actually build it. We're going to need design input just so we have an idea of what we're going to do, and time to build it, which I think we have covered.
No, thank you, and let the warmth be with you.
We're not done. Before we ask for questions, there are a couple of the people that we would like to thank. We definitely need to thank Mr. Glassman, who provided us with the time to work on this. Mr. Crayer, not only for helping us, but being our reliable laptop limo back to our campus. And, of course, Mr. Johnson, which without him, this would not be possible. You can reach me at ishapiro@sch.org if you have any questions, comments, or concerns.
And if you have any design input or funding, you can reach me at rcomiskey@sch.org.
Thank you, and are there any questions?
Who's going to code the app?
The app?
Who's going to code the app?
We're not sure of that. We were thinking that we were going to start off with a DIY, as many of the other people were, but as we started to figure out how many people would actually buy this and when our prototypes are really refined, we were going to look for an expert on app development.
Have you thought about developing it yourself?
Well, that's possible, but neither Ryan or I know a lot about programming an app. I know a decent amount about a website, but not an app. It's two different coding types.
I think one thing that needs to be said is that the two of you are absolutely innovators to your core. For those of us who've been with the incubator since the beginning, these two have not stopped. They just keep coming up with idea after idea after idea. And when you tell them, that may not be workable, they're like, I'll prove it to you. It will be workable. So it's really awesome to see you back out there with something brand new to share with us. Congratulations on that. And I absolutely believe that one day you will be standing in front of all of us at your IPO. So that's I would personally look forward to seeing. Now, a question that I do have for you about the product. So the app technology is definitely critical to develop, but probably even more critical than that is developing the product itself because it's apparel. So whether it's we're apparel that will be on the outside or even something that's a liner on the inside, you have to think about who is your absolute competition and what are the properties of the products that are on the market right now that you would compete with. You mentioned a few manufacturers, but one of the things that I'm curious to know about is there are a lot of products, there's a lot of fabric technology out there right now that is body temperature regulating. So it doesn't have to be controlled by an app. The fabric itself is wicking properties and breathes and adjusts to the temperature based on your own personal body temperature. It will warm you up or cool you down. Packable down is one of the examples of that. Have you given any consideration to the viability of putting all this technology into a product when you may be able to, there may be fabrics and textiles that are already on the market that are already doing what you want to do with technology?
Do you want to answer that?
Yes, we have taken that into account, but for our product, you would have to regulate the temperature, but it still would try to be breathable and water resistant.
One advantage we do have over that is just is a body regulating. If you want it to be warmer than that, or if it's in a really hot day and you kind of like it, you can just keep it off or at a lower temperature.
Very excited to see where you take this. So, excellent presentation. And if you guys want to come stand up for meetings one day, you totally do that in addition to your IPO. You guys are a great combination. One question I had for you is it sounds like none of your competitors have an app. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yes.
that's correct.
Have you looked at the other side, which is I know there's a campaign with Indiegogo that closed about a year ago, which is a crowdfunding site, which is for a cooling desk, which had an app. So I don't know if you've looked at the other side and see if there's learning from cooling technology that you could apply to your
Do you want to do this?
We haven't necessarily taken a look at that, but we've thought about that a little bit, and we feel like if you tried to do cooling, you'd probably either have to have like this giant thing on your back, like a backpack, trying to air condition the air before it goes into your vest, or you got to wheel a cart around just to get the air conditioning unit so you could cool your clothes.
Well, there's something out there today
That would be cool. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. We're gonna have to. I'm afraid we're gonna have to move on to the next presentation now. Nice job, boys. Round of applause for the.
Hi, everybody. My name's Ian Crayer, and I have the honor of introducing Olivia D'Angelo and Oliver Peck. This is our only cross-divisional team, by which I mean one student's from the middle school girls' school and one student from the middle school boys' school. I think you're going to be very excited to see what they have come up with. They've been working on developing an e-commerce platform for connecting artists and consumers, and they have overcome a lot of challenges. Oliver brought the creative genius to the team, and Olivia has such a talent for managing projects and organizing things, and they just worked extremely well together. So if everything's all set, let me please present the Drawing on the Dot team.
Hello, I'm Oliver Peck,
And I'm Olivia D'Angelo.
and our venture is Drawing on the Dot.
Drawing on the Dot is an online community where artists can join and provide high-quality, customizable digital art for customers.
Think of it like eBay, but for an artist. Find the artist whose style you like, and then request a drawing from them. I started drawing, I can't even remember, probably all my life, but I do know that I've been drawing since at least first grade. And last year, I tried to make a trading card game, which I would need digital artwork for, so I became interested in it. I bought a graphics tablet and started practicing. And this year, I adopted a new type of drawing style, manga, or more specifically chibi. You can see right there. And started drawing my friends with it. And I had really positive feedback, and they said it was really good. So I realized I could make a business out of this.
Last year, I took a coding class here at SCH through the CEL program. Ever since then, I've been very interested in coding and web design. I also use social media a lot, and I know that this product is something I would use. When Oliver told me about his idea for a business, I thought it would be a great way to combine our passions, drawing and web design. Imagine you're on Instagram looking at your followers' profiles. Everybody's profile picture looks really similar, including yours, but you want to stand out. As you scroll through your feed, you see an advertisement for Drawing on the Dot. You send in a picture of yourself and ask to be drawn with Justin Bieber, your favorite celebrity. In less than a week, and for only $10, you have a full-color cartoon drawing of yourself next to Justin. Just wait until your followers see this. When we first looked at our target market, we were thinking that our customers would be between the ages of 18 and 35. But the more we thought about it, we realized that our market was so much larger than that. Drawing on the Dot can appeal to anyone who has internet access. They would most likely use social media because profile pictures would be a big use for our drawings. In the US alone, there are over 240 million people who use social media, so that's 240 million potential customers.
Now imagine that you bought a graphics tablet and have been practicing your digital artwork. You think it's really good, so you show it to your friends, and they're blown away by it and give you really positive feedback, telling you that you should find some way to make money off of this. You realize you could, but how? There's no easy way online, and if you sold it in real life, people would just think you found it on Google and printed it out. That's what Drawing on the Dot would solve. Artists are mainly very critical of their work, and positive feedback and people telling them what they should draw can really help that. I find it hard to figure out what to draw and judge myself on it. And I think for all the people who have drawing as their hobby, getting paid and having all that feedback would really make it more fun.
Here's how our website would work. Artists would be able to sign up for free and create a profile showcasing their work. Buyers will browse the website and find an artist they like. They can send that artist a request based on either a photo or a description. As the artist works on the drawing, the buyer and artist can communicate through the website to ensure that the final product is exactly what the customer wants.
Our main competitor is a website called Fiverr. It's a platform that allows people to find artists to make artwork, resume checks, and photo editing, and other things like that. Drawing on the Dot would be different because it focuses only on artwork and focuses mainly on being charming and simple. It would be easy to find a drawing style that you like and easy to communicate and build a relationship between the buyer and the seller. It would help with a wider variety of options for drawings. It sets us apart from Fiverr.
Artists would join our website for free. When a customer places an order, they would pay 30% of the price, which is our commission. When the artist completes the drawing, the customer would pay the other 70%. If artists sold 3 drawings a week for $10 each, we would be able to make $900 a week with 100 artists. That's over $46,000 a year. If we had 300 artists, we could make $140,400 each year.
Well, in the beginning of the Venture Incubator Program, we hoped to have a fully functional website and to have completed at least 20 drawings for other people by demo day. We quickly realized this was not a realistic goal. It takes me a lot longer than I thought to make a drawing. That's not even when I'm being picky and erasing everything. And creating an e-commerce website is a lot harder than you would think. We have around 4 artists interested in joining the Venture Incubator Program, and by March 11th, we hope to recruit at least 5 more. By March 7th, we need an order form, which is something that's crucial to taking requests. And by March 17th, we'd like to begin taking orders, but to do so, we'd need to advertise.
We are going to begin our advertising on March 16th using Instagram and Twitter. We are doing this because it's free and helps us to reach a larger audience. By March 16th, we will have a more specific advertising plan. We'll begin our website design on March 21st. We're most likely going to use a website template site such as Wix or Weebly. We've looked into those before, and we've found websites that we liked, but the problem we've run into is that they're not free, and we haven't had the funding for that. So that's why we're beginning to sell drawings before we design our website, so we can get some funding, so we'll be able to design the website we want. And we're hoping to launch our website on April 18th. We are asking you for customers and artists.
If you are interested in being an artist or know someone who would be, or are interested in requesting a drawing, please contact us here at drawingonthedot@gmail.com.
We would like to thank Mr. Crayer and Mr. Glassman for all their help throughout this process.
We'd also like to give a big thank you to our mentor, Amanda Dale, and for helping us along the way, and we would not have been able to complete what we have without her.
Thank you all, and we hope you'll consider using our service in the future.
That was really nicely done. And the thing I love is the passion for drawing and how you created that into this new endeavor that you have. One comment I had was, I'm wondering if you should maybe focus your business a little more narrow, because I love this idea of profile pictures. And what I worry is if you're trying to be everything to everyone, then you are competing with Fiverr, you're competing with 99 Designs, you're competing with a lot of kind of online graphic things. Whereas if you can very sharply say, look, send us a picture, we will do your profile. It's something which is not out there today, maybe easier to market. I myself just wanted to do Instagram and I need a profile picture, so it would be my first customer. But just think a little bit about, is there a ability here to cut through a lot of the other things that are out there by narrowing kind of your value proposition?
So we did think originally of just doing profile pictures and kind of narrowing it down more, but we realized that we didn't want to limit ourselves too much because there may be other uses out there. Like, for example, we talked about people who play online games and might want, that's still kind of a profile picture, but it's different. And also people that write stories online might want illustrations, other people that write stories. So we did consider that, but we didn't want to restrict ourselves.
One thing that I want to call out that I think is incredibly important and very impressive is that even though it was very preliminary and it was a skeleton, you had a business plan. You really thought about what your revenue model needed to be. You thought about how you were going to make money with this, and you put together a timeline for what you needed to do, when you needed to do it, that you were to launch. And that is incredibly advanced and very powerful to look at because now I understand not only just your idea and what you want to accomplish, further research, maybe some more surveys to find out some of the things that you just mentioned. What are all the opportunities that people might use this service for? And that can help you very much in figuring out how to promote and market yourself when you go live. Congratulations on your work thus far. Very, very.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Great job. Great job. You can take that step off the stage.
Good evening. My name is Vincent Day, and I have the great honor of introducing our next entrepreneur, Han Chang. So Han is a 12th grader here at SCH, and he has developed a game combining an interest in game design with a passion for horror and computer programming. It's really been a pleasure working with Han over the course of the past 10 weeks. He's shown tremendous growth, dedication, and skill. So with that, I'll hand it off to Han.
Good afternoon. Let me proudly introduce you guys to Elise. What is Elise? Elise is a horror RPG game that will spook you to your veins. As you might wonder, what is an RPG game? An RPG game stands for a role-playing game, which players often controls a character to discover a fantasy world. And in addition, Elise is the name of the main character. So, this is a picture of me. I'm currently a senior, and I love playing and designing video games. So, why did I create Elise? 1.5 years ago, I was playing this horror RPG game called The Witch's House. I was shocked. It was one of the scariest games I've ever played. After I finished the game, I thought to myself, maybe I can create this too. And here I am, creating Elise. So, what makes Elise unique? And what makes it different? The game concept. Unique has a lot of mini-games that no other RPG games have had ever. The music. Elise's music will take players on an emotional journey. Artwork. Elise's artwork will open a new era, not just for RPG games, but in the video game area. Target customer. Due to my research, most of the RPG games lovers are aged between 12 to 30 years old. My target customer usually use a gaming platform called Steam, and all Steam users are my target customers. And Elise is for both men and women. Market size. For RPG horror game, there's usually a small and loyal fan base. And if the game does well on the market, both horror game or RPG game lovers will likely buy this game. And here I am introducing you to the character creation. And this is how I created the character. I used a program called RPGmaker VX Ace. And I selected the hairstyle and the eyebrows of the character and created this first character called Elise. And I'm still creating other characters of the game. Map creation. And this is the platform that I used to create my map. As you can see, that there are a lot of elements on the left, and I just drawn some scripts and created this first map called the Awaken Room. Coding of Elise. For RPG Maker VX Ace, I used a coding language called Ruby, to write the codes, and these are some of the codes that I wrote for the system of the game. And here I have a short demo of the opening scene of Elise. Here's Elise waking up in a mystery dark room. After going to bed, she can't remember a thing, and she has to discover a way out. And here's just a short demo of the game. And here, it doesn't cost much to create Elise. All I need was a working Windows laptop, which costs around $500 to $1,000, and RPG Maker VX8, which is the program, and it costs $70. Cost of labor. I am not a professional artist myself, so I might need to hire a professional artist to help me to complete the awesome drawings of the game. And a professional gaming artist price ranges around $50 every hour, and I might need 10 to 30 hours of the help of the artist. And since I'm also not a professional programmer myself, I might need some assistance if I run into some trouble while programming. And the price of an assistant programmer is around $30 every hour, and I might need an additional 10 to 30 hours of the help from an assistant programmer. Cost of distribution. As I've mentioned, I will be selling my game on Steam, which is a gaming platform. Steam currently has 65 million users, with 10 million users increasing annually. It costs around $100 to put your game on Steam, and Steam will advertise your game for you. So, what happens next? After the end of CEL Incubator Program, I will still be creating Elise, and I will not stop until the day I see Elise on Steam. Special thanks to Mr. Quarles. Unfortunately, he can't be here with us. He's a student at Drexel. Every Tuesday, he sat down and chat with me and teach me how to program my game. Special thanks to my mentor, Mr. Day. Thank you very much. You really helped me a lot. And thank you to Mr. Glassman and Mr. Creer. They're right there. And everyone who gave me any suggestions, any help, any introductions to the game, to my project, Elise. Thank you. Here's my contact information if you want to contact me about Elise. Questions?
So first of all, great job. I don't know how you're able to pull out a demo so quickly. It was pretty remarkable. They were able to show us a working demo.
Thank you.
It was great. One question I had for you was, you'd mentioned that you needed the artist and a game person to help you, but it looks like you're able to already do a demo. So
Yeah.
are you planning to change platforms?
I'm not planning to change platforms. I haven't run into any troubles yet, but I'm pretty sure that I'm going to run into some troubles in the near future. And if I can't solve it myself, I might need to hire a professional programmer, assistant programmer to help me with my programming.
And can you tell me a little bit about the story arc for Elise? Is it something where you're going to be going to different rooms trying to figure things out? Like, what makes it, how do you actually play the game?
Elise, she wakes up in an abandoned hospital, and she doesn't remember a thing, and she needs to find a way out of the hospital.
So going through several rooms as she's trying to go through.
Yes, she's going to go through several spooky rooms, and she's going to get scared, and the player is going to get scared. It's going to be a horrible experience.
Yeah. How big is the market for, first of all, it was great, it was a great presentation. How big is the market for scary horror?
The horror RPG game, it's not a big market. There's not a big market for horror RPG games, but for horror games, there's a giant market. And if this game is scary enough, which it will be, it's going to attract a lot of customers.
What is your revenue model? You know, do you know what you'll charge for the game?
It will cost around $1 to $3.
Do people, is it a one-time purchase or is there?
It's a one-time purchase. It's a single-player game.
Is there any way to make it a subscription model where people could go through different scenarios, you know, sort of on a recurrent basis or something like that?
I haven't thought about that yet, but maybe in the near future. Thank you.
Great job, Han. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, hello. Hi there, my name's Leslie Newbold, and I had the good fortune of getting to know and working with Jessie Penn, an 11th grader here, and she had already kind of figured out what she wanted to do and why she wanted to do it before I even stepped in. Her passion to fight against injustice and educate people about injustice is strong, and the company she created, Thanks But No Thanks, is a worthy one, and I think her designs are provocative and really exciting, and I think that you probably will be seeing her in some high-end clothing stores and boutiques and online shopping places soon. So here she is, Jessie Penn.
Hi, I'm Jessica Penn, and this is my nonprofit, Thanks But No Thanks. So in 10th grade, I had to write a letter to anyone about any injustice, really, and I chose feminism. And I didn't really know much about feminism at the time, so that's kind of why I chose it. And my idea was to look at different dictionary definitions, such as like slut and whore, that were derogatory towards females, and to see if they were just for females, and see if there was a male equivalent. Which there wasn't really. So that's kind of what I did here, and that's kind of what the spark that created all of this. Here are two different dictionary definitions. The first one's tart. It's a woman who dresses or behaves in a way that is considered tasteless and sexually provocative. And playboy, which is a wealthy man who spends his time enjoying himself, especially one who behaves irresponsibly or is sexually promiscuous. And that just kind of shows like the injustice between genders in a dictionary definition, which I thought was kind of weird and different, and I didn't really expect that. There were 15 or more dictionary definitions that were derogatory towards women, and only 4 towards men, and they still weren't nearly as degrading to men. So I also looked up slut, and that was used in a sentence. She dressed like a slut and didn't act much better. And that just also made me mad because even the dictionary was telling you to use these words in just really rude, derogatory ways. So my big idea was to create t-shirts for young women to inspire them to stand up against the gender inequality that's in our world today. So 23% of women identify themselves as feminist, which is pretty low if you think that feminism is just wanting equality between the genders. So there's definitely an issue with the word feminism and the F word, I guess. So my goal is to destigmatize feminism. I want to inspire people through all these ideas, but not force them to become feminists. And I want to put a cooler twist on these ideas, which is why I created these t-shirts. And tell people that feminism isn't just refusing to like shave your armpits. So my shirts gear toward 2 different forms of objectification. One being catcalling, which I'm 17, and I've been catcalled more times than I can count. And that's just an issue between all different women. Most women have been catcalled in their lifetime. And then ownership, the idea that women can be bought and are a man's like property. So I'm also really interested in sexual assault. It does hit close to home since I know people that have been sexually assaulted. 98% of rapists don't spend a day in prison, so women have to see who assaulted them, and if not, they have to just live knowing that they're out there. 9 out of 10 rape victims are women, and girls 16 to 19 are more likely than the whole population by 4 times to be sexually assaulted, which is everyone that's my friend in high school. So the target customer are women aged 15 to 25 with a small voice but big ideas and a larger city, and I chose that because that was me at a time. I didn't really have that big of a voice, but I had big ideas, and that's why I created all of this. The first shirt is next time call, because calling is a more appropriate way to get a girl's attention, saying, hey, how are you, instead of catcalling her and telling her how sexy she looks in the middle of the street. And the back says, not yours to catcall because you don't own her. And this is that shirt here. And then the second shirt is a barcode, just showing that women are not objects to buy. And the back says self-respect priceless, because you can't put a price tag on self-respect. And that's what I'm wearing right now. What makes us different than our competitors is that we give our money to Laurel House. We give 20% of our proceeds to them, and they help stop domestic violence, and they help over 3,000 women a year seek that help. So I have 3 major competitors, one being Free the Nipple, which is a movement. They also sell t-shirts. One is Me and You, and they sell t-shirts and also different accessories for feminist issues. And then Feminist Apparel, which obviously sells feminist apparel. And their followers here are on Instagram, just showing that they have a lot of people behind them and caring about these issues and want to buy their shirts. And then the prices are there, because I did price my shirts at $38, but it shows that people will pay for these shirts. So this is a picture that I drew. That's a girl, and she buys a shirt. She's inspired. She posts to Instagram. Other people are inspired through that picture, and they also buy t-shirts. And then at the same time, she helps a victim of domestic violence who's inspired, who then buys a t-shirt. And that just kind of shows the cycle of how my shirts will get out there. Also, how they will get that out there is, I know people from my camp, which is an all-girls camp. I know girls from Barnard. And there's just a lot of girls that I can reach through people I know. So I need $6,000 to start my business with the shirts, the website, and the packaging, because it will be an online business at first. And then in the end, when I sell the t-shirts, I give the money to the Laurel House, and I give back the money that people invested in me. I'll have $9,200 to invest back into my company. So right now I do hope to start online, but later I hope to be featured in stores such as Urban Outfitters and Nasty Gal, which are just younger adult stores. And then also Other Wild, which sells different brands of feminist apparel. This is my website, thanks but no thanks, and you can write down your email over there. I'll have a paper if you want to be notified when the shirts are available to be sold. They're not being sold now. I still have to work out a few kinks with the shirts, but they will be soon. A special thanks to Edward Glassman, Ian Creyer, and Leslie Newbold. She was my mentor, and she helped me with all of this. She got the t-shirts today. And any questions, you can feel free to contact me at jpen@sch.org.
Jessica, that was amazing. Is your website up?
It is up, but there's no shirts for sale.
So, but it's informational at this point, so we
Yeah.
can see what your whole story is all about.
Mhm.
That's terrific. That's an amazing step to have accomplished so far. I think your idea is incredible, and it's absolutely viable. I'm assuming that you're planning to pitch it as a nonprofit. It sounds like that was the direction you were going down, or was this meant to be a for-profit endeavor?
It was supposed to be a nonprofit, yeah.
All right, that sounds good. Leslie and I had spoken a few weeks back, and I understand that you were very interested in Truly Madly Deeply as maybe a manufacturing partner. I was really interested to see your presentation and see how far you went. So I would love to get to see you at the end of this, and we can set up an appointment with Heather, who's their merchandiser, and see if they might be willing to get involved to help back you to launch this.
Okay, thank you so much.
So first of all, you're an inspiring role model for younger women. and older women. And I really love, you know, the way that you're trying to figure out your small voice in a way to really make a big difference and change. I think the question I have for you is really around your idea, your concept, the way you speak about it is so compelling. The question is really how do you market and get out there quickly? And so, you know, it sounds like you're going kind of more a store route. And I'm wondering if there's a more viral way to go, like, for example, a crowdfunding campaign where you actually don't have to be ordering the t-shirts in advance. You can drum up the support and a lot of press cover crowdfunding campaigns. And maybe that is a way to almost get the dollars before you have to order the shirts. So think a little bit about your route to market, and are there more viral ways that you actually can get your name out there even before you're selling the shirts?
Thank you.
A great idea. I think it's a really fresh take on some important issues, and I think you did a really great job presenting it. So, no specific suggestion.
I did not know what catcalling was until 5 minutes ago, so thank you. My question is, how, let's say you get some notoriety, maybe it's local to start, and people are buying the shirts. How do you stop someone from kind of copying your idea? So let's say some other mainstream retailer starts doing something similar, and they donate, maybe it's for profit. Like, have you thought about competition in that regard?
I didn't think of anyone copying my idea as an idea before, but I would be. I don't know how I would react to that, because I think that's good in a way, because they are getting the word out too, and I think that's kind of what matters, the movement of getting the word out on these issues and giving money to places that will give money to domestic violence and sexual assault, and I think like that's important. So I guess if they're doing that, I just wouldn't then want them to copy my exact shirts. I didn't really think about how that would happen.
Great job. I loved it. I'm curious, it seems like you're trying to spark a movement, not just sell t-shirts. And I'm curious if you've thought about creating more of a community via your website versus just having it be e-commerce, or to partner with some other organization or entity beyond the Rural House, so that we've got a group that focuses more on movement for women to be aware of and taking action around issues that relate to feminism. Is that all an interest, creating a community as well?
Yeah, I was in contact with a few others. It's like, do you know RAIN? It's rape, abuse, incest. They wanted to have more of a website and more of like an actual thing before like they said yes to me helping out, because I guess the bigger organizations, they need more of like an actual thing there. So definitely when I become more of like a company, I will add other organizations to give money to, and I will be making more money so I could maybe give more too. But there is a movement here, and things like Instagram, which I'll be primarily using. I hope that people will post why the shirt means something to them in the caption. I like the hashtag not yours, which is here, not yours to catcall. So definitely using that hashtag for things.
And your purchasers or people who are interested in your product may also want to suggest ideas for content or topics for you to create your next t-shirt line, right?
Yeah.
I would also say don't limit it to t-shirts. You could take this idea and you could expand it. Maybe start with t-shirts, but if there's some traction, don't limit yourself to t-shirts.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so management wanted me to mention two announcements. One is this is our second to last presentation, so we're in the home stretch. And we'd also love to invite anyone in the back that would be willing to join us up front to fill in. They would greatly appreciate that. So Ed reached out to me in the fall and asked if I'd be willing to mentor someone, and I said, it depends on the idea and the student. And when he mentioned it was Jaelyn Wingard, who has spent time in the incubator before, it was a no-brainer. So Jaelyn is a really lovely young lady who is tackling some serious problems head-on and has some really great ideas in terms of being part of the solution. So without taking any of her thunder away, I'm going to pass it over to her.
Okay, I can hold it. Should I hold it or? Hello. Yeah. Okay. Hi, my name is Jaelyn Wingard, and I'm here to present to you my conference, Special Time for Special People. So I have a disability called cerebral palsy, and cerebral palsy is an injury to the brain that causes my muscles to be weaker than normal. For example, doing things like walking for a long distance, taking long bike rides, even doing like this on my other hand is a challenge. And although it's manageable, it's quite difficult to do, like to struggle with on a regular basis, especially when I feel like I'm the only one or I'm one of two within my school or my friend group. However, I am one of 9,000 students in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area between the ages of 12 to 13 who are classified as having a physical disability. Although it may not seem like a big number, it's pretty significant to me, especially because I know that there's other people out there, even though we're spread across just the state even. In April and then in October, I attended the Mid-Atlantic Regional Diversity Conference in Abington Friends School. There at the conference, we had a lunch for students who wanted to come and learn with disabilities. And although only 3 students showed up, which is kind of disappointing, it was still good to know that there were 2 other students there who had disability and wanted to learn more about it. And so at the lunch, we talked a lot about what some of the challenges we were in school. For example, one student didn't have an elevator, so he couldn't go to classes for 3 months. He had a FaceTime. And we talked about what ways we could do to talk to our principals and so on about how we can get elevators and get ways to go to classes. So I thought, and then after I left that day, I thought, what can I do to combine my need for more students that I know about and the problems that we all face on a daily basis. So I thought, why not have my own similar conference that was for students like the lunch at AFS that can combine the 2 ideas. And thus the conference was born. To start the conference, I decided to take the similar itinerary and process from AFS and put it into my own sort of twist to it. So during the day, it'll be for 30 to 40 students, and it'll be 4 hours on May 21st here in the CEL space. During the day, there will be 2 keynote speakers and 3 workshops for physical, mental, and learning disabilities. In the workshops, we will focus a lot on some of the challenges we all face, some ways we can solve it, and simply just having a good time with people just like you. The speakers will be there to combine all of our needs and wants and try to figure out ways how we can feel empowered and empower the students to change some of these challenges and make it better so that the world is also accessible to everyone else. So far, between when the incubator started and to right now, I have accomplished 3 major points of starting this. I have set a date, which I think was quite relieving. I've started a group in school where me and 4 other students and 1 teacher, we meet once a week and we talk about what I can do and we can do together to make this conference more appealing to students, to make it more interesting, and to get people to come. And finally, I have created a flow chart of where I can get of what kind of speakers I would need and moderators, so that if we come across a family friend or something at like Thanksgiving, we can be like, oh, hey, you have dyslexia, for example, and you aren't going to be in Philadelphia in May, come to my conference. And between now and May 21st, I need to not only specify on a speaker, but I also need to contact the schools using the resources Miss Kimberly, our diversity coordinator, has for our own diversity conference we're holding in March to get the schools in the Mid-Atlantic Regional School area to get their students to participate in this conference. And finally, I need to find funds so I can support this conference. At the end of the day, I want students to leave my conference feeling a sense of change. I want them to come in, know, and think, what are the problems that we're having? And then during the day, create allies and create friends and memories and ideas so that when they leave, they know that there are people behind them, supporting them and cheering them on, thinking, you can do this. We are out there, we are together, we can change this community, we can change this world to make it accessible for everyone out there who is struggling. Just, you know. I also, between now and then, I also need support from everyone possible because I need people who know about speakers because making connections is the best way to go, and it's always better to know someone who is a great speaker or a great friend who knows someone who's a speaker, because making connections and knowing people is always a lot easier than just going cold, as well as making some kind of finding moderators. It's the same thing, because if you know someone who would be anyone with physical and mental learning disability background, it would be really helpful because they would know how to fix it and how to help them and how to guide these students so that they can change this. And finally, I would need help with funding because I would need enough money to get food for the students. I would need it for speaking fees and travel accommodations for the speakers, and to get T-shirts so that when they leave the conference, they'll have something they can wear and remember this day and know that they get the awareness out there. Thank you, and I hope that you are excited as much as I am, because I'm really excited about this, and I can't wait for the March 21st to come so that I can get this awareness out there. Thank you.
Jaelyn, I have a question for you. Nice job.
Thank you.
How big do you think the turnout? Well, I know I read your bio ahead of time. It sounded like your initial aspirations were big and grand and maybe a little bit unmanageable. How big of a turnout do you think you would get? Like, what would a successful turnout to you be? And based upon your response, what are some of the specific things you're going to do to try to attract students? I know you mentioned some, but I know you're going to focus on the indirect schools first, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So how many students do you think you could attract?
Well, my hope and my goal is to get 30 to 40. Would be 20 at the minimum, and then 40 maximum, and around that number. And that would be by emailing the schools, looking at their kind of diversity work they have, like their GSA groups or their affinities, for example, and talk to them and say, do you have anybody that's disabled or would like to know more about it?
And the follow-up question, have you given thought of what type of speaker you'd like? I mean, obviously someone to engage the group that you're pulling together, but did you have any thoughts specifically about what type of speaker?
I thought a lot about someone who either is really successful in their disability work, or just someone who's really fun and engaging, and they may not be disabled, but they have enough knowledge that they could like put someone in that perspective and be like, this is cool, we're gonna make this work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Great job, Jaelyn. I was curious, do you see the conference as an ending point or a starting point? It really seems like your goal is towards the conference, but what you're actually might be able to build is a larger community. So I just wanted to know how you were thinking about that.
I thought a lot about both, actually, whether it's just like this is it and then it's a yearly thing, but at the same time I thought maybe this could be more of a starting point and then build on, building it for a 4-hour conference, and then next year be 6 hours, and the next year 12 hours, and just keep building it and make it more and more, and then add more awareness and problems and solutions.
So that was a great job. You really are a compelling speaker and very inspirational in terms of the story and what you're trying to do. One question I have for you is you mentioned that success for you was the students coming out with a sense of change.
What I've thought about at least a little bit is there's simple changes, like just getting a plan for a snow day when it gets too icy to go outside, or having a panic attack, like calm out, like mental day. But then I thought there could be bigger changes, like building an elevator or building some kind of heat tunnel for our school or schools that go outside. So I thought maybe bring in a principal or something of some sort, or a speaker, or even just attending, so that they can understand this, and then when they go to their meetings, they could be like, oh, at this conference, they talked about X, we could do this to do Y. Thank you.
Great job. I love the idea. The only thing that occurs to me is focus and the ability to be able to accomplish kind of a pan dynamic for all differently able people. How scalable do you think that is initially to say it's for all people who are differently able, and being able to service all the differences between those differently able people in one conference? Do you think that you will be able to handle that so that everybody gets a positive outcome, or have you thought about limiting the number of differences that you would want to focus in on, at least in your first year of conferences?
I thought about that. I mean, it's kind of challenging because I don't want to cut out anyone. Like, eventually, it's like you can't come because you have a learning disability. Only come if you have physical. I mean, I definitely want to work hard to service all three, especially because I don't want to exclude anyone. And I have support behind me from different disabilities, learning and mental. And as long as we can at least work hard, it may not be as specific because I may not have knowledge in it. I know people who will, and if it may not be like successful 100%, but at least 60, 70% would be great for me. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Got it. We can share. I know we'll share. Kristen, give this one. Okay, I'll give her this one because number one. Or you give her that one.
Hi, I'm Kristen Norton, and I've been a mentor many times now. And I really feel like I won the mentor lottery by being assigned to work with this team. It has been a lot of fun. I'm still amazed that this group of young people have tackled such a complex robotics project. I mean, truthfully, it should be professional engineers and professional software developers doing this, and I think it's a testament to their drive and intelligence and creativity that they have gotten as far as they have. And I'm excited for them to share with you their Pacebot project.
Thank you, Kristen. This idea first came to life in 7th grade when we were running track, and we were talking about rabbits, who are human pacers that run on the inside of the track and pace runners. We were saying, wouldn't these runners want to run in the race if they're fast enough? And that's how we came up with the idea of a mechanical option.
And then this year, in our first quarter of our 10th grade year, in our CEL prototyping class, we finally had the opportunity to make our product. So this is the Pacebot team.
I'm Mia, I row.
I'm Paige, and I do cross country.
I'm Catherine, and I play lacrosse. I'm Haley, and I do track.
Haley and I are the only ones who still run now, but we did all run in middle school.
So the main problem we identified was that there was no way for runners to accurately pace themselves when they weren't with a coach or having a rabbit themselves to run with. You could use a watch, but runners were often off time, and this didn't help them after they were already off pace. The most competitive alternative to the Pacebot is a satellite watch, which tracks the runner using GPS, but it could be up to 10 seconds off on the track because of the inaccuracy. So we saw this as an opportunity to create a physical object that the runner could follow around the track, which would allow them to run without a coach or a rabbit and improve their times.
The Pacebot helps runners go from competing to competitive. It's a robot that runners can bring with them to the track. They can set the distance and time they want to go, and then all they have to do is follow behind it. It's that easy.
So as you can see on the left, that's our first prototype, which we worked on during our CEL class in the first quarter. We built the chassis ourselves and used an Arduino processing chip to code the robot, and also we used light sensors to track the lines on the track. But these both presented some issues, so in our second prototype, which you can see in the other picture and also right up here, we switched over to using a Raspberry Pi to code the robot and also using video monitoring to track the line.
The code has been one of our biggest challenges so far since none of us have had any prior experience in programming. Mr. Randall and Mr. Martin, who work up in the engineering lab, advised us to make the switch over to Raspberry Pi, which is its own computer that we can mount onto the Pacebot, and that will allow us to have a faster processing system. We're also using a program called Grip, which is an image processor, and that can see the lines on the track so that the robot will know where it's going.
This is a rendering that shows the components of the Pacebot. Clockwise from the top, we have the Raspberry Pi, which is our processing chip, the LifeCam HD, which tracks the lines. Our chassis should have a low turning radius, as the Pacebot only has to turn a very gradual, small amount. We're using a hexatronic servo right now to steer it, and just any generic battery pack that has enough torque to turn the motors.
So these are some other features that we'd like to put on our Pacebot. So the first one is take video of the runner so the coach could then give feedback about their form. Music and encouragement, an automatic kill switch just in case the robot gets too far ahead of the runner or if the runner sees someone who's in the way and they need to immediately stop it. And also we would like coaches to be able to control the speed on our app.
We want to control our robot through an app. So when the runner opens up the app, the first thing they will see is our home page. From then, they can build their own workout or choose one of the built-in workouts that we have for them. From there, they can choose whether they want a long distance or short distance workout, and then we will have suggested workouts that they can then edit to their liking. Also, to make the app more personal, we will have a profile page where the runners can track their progress, and also it will give them badges when they reach their goals.
We conducted many surveys and interviews over the course of these 8 weeks. 95% of runners that we surveyed said that they have trouble pacing themselves. 5 out of the 5 coaches expressed interest in our product, and there are about 60,000 high school, college, and track teams in the United States. So with these stats combined, we know that there's definitely a market for our product. Here are some quotes from the interviews we conducted. Dante Zapala, who's a local extreme runner, said, "It'd be especially valuable for professional runners because it is difficult for top runners to find human pacers who are fast enough." And Marcus O'Sullivan, who's the head track coach of Villanova, which is actually one of the top track teams in the US right now, said, "That is a great idea. It has merit as something that would help establish pace in runners who don't already have a sense of it."
We also interviewed a multitude of coaches and runners and athletic directors to kind of get a sense of how teams would pay for it and if the runners would actually use our product at all, and our feedback was overwhelmingly positive. This is our business model. Some of our adjustable costs are website housing fees, which would be about $120 per year if we decide to launch a website. Our estimated cost to build per robot would be about $230. Labor and programming would be about $725. Fixed costs, which would be costs we'd only have to pay once, would be a domain name, tools, and we got an estimate from an app developer who said it would be about $7,500 to design an app, and altogether that would be about $8,630.
Our goals for the rest of the year are first to learn Python, which is the coding language, so that we can start coding the robot ourselves.
Our next goal would be to have the Pacebot run 100 meters straight away on the track.
And then our next goal would develop our app and get our website up.
By the end of the year, we want to finish a final prototype that would go all the way around the track and connect to our app.
Finally, when our final prototype is finished, we'd like to test it on real runners, and hopefully in the near future, our robot will be as fast as Usain Bolt.
We'd like to give a special thanks to our mentor, Kristen Norton, who helped us through it all, and also to James Liu, who helped us a lot in the lab with programming. We'd also like to thank Mr. Glassman and Mr. Crayer for helping us in the business model and the entrepreneurial side of things, and also Mr. Sackstetter, Mr. Martin, and Mr. Randall for helping us in engineering and meeting with us multiple times.
Thank you.
I love this idea. I'm not a
Thank you.
runner at all, but I can see why it's great. What about this potentially being stolen by someone? Have you filed any intellectual property? What are things that you've done to protect yourself against someone?
We're looking into patenting it, but we were looking for a little bit ago, we were looking through patents to see if there was something like this out there, but we just never followed up on that, so we're definitely going to do that.
So there's nothing out there now like this?
No, there was actually, we found a paper that an MIT student did about this product. We found it after we created our product, but that was in 2008, and it wasn't successful, he said, and there has been no further information about that product.
Have you thought about creating like a kid's version of it too that would be indestructible, that they could sort of, you know, the kid would have to run around and chase it?
We did actually think about a PE prototype of this, so then the kids could you could just pop it in the gym and it would just do different moves.
Right. Yeah.
What is the range and the maximum speed that you'll test it?
We ultimately want to get up to about 25 miles per hour, which is Usain Bolt's speed, but it can probably go as slow as 15, 10.
Yeah, right now we're still working on the programming to get it to a certain speed, and after that we'll be able to really test what the range is. Yes, it is a battery, but we're not exactly sure right now. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea, and I would also encourage you to pursue the intellectual property idea. What I was going to say is that, you know, as you all demonstrate, I think it's fantastic to really target competitive athletes and competitive runners, and I think that the application is much broader than just track teams and running teams, because most really competitive sports at the college level and beyond, there's usually some element of running as a targeted part of conditioning. So I think this has tremendous potential. So I would encourage you to actually reach out to other coaches as well.
Thank you.
I think along those lines, I totally agree with that. And I think also, though, it's really important for you to try to get under the covers of why somebody studied it at MIT so many years ago and then it didn't end up getting pursued and no one else has come to market with anything like it. Your presentation was incredibly compelling, incredibly professional, very, very clear. I want to buy it. It seems really exciting to me, but there's got to be something somewhere that's causing people to say this is not a scalable business opportunity. So it would be before you get too far into going down the path of doing all your development on your prototype, find out what that could be. Maybe even contact the person at MIT who did that paper to find out a little bit more about their findings to see if they would share some information with you. And then, as Mrs. Newbold said, maybe there's another way to go about it when you broaden the appeal, where if it's somehow not viable just for professional runners, is there a way to take the adorable logo that you have and spin it so that it could actually end up being a novelty product perhaps, as well as something that has only a technical application?
Thank you. Yes?
I saw that you have a prototype. Does the prototype actually run yet, or?
No, it doesn't.
Well, our first,
our first one ran about 10 feet, but before it veered off. But we're working on it, so stay tuned.
Did you ever think about using solar power for this?
No, we haven't considered that. I think just batteries would be easier because it would be kind of something that you'd like use just for a workout, and then you can bring the battery home and recharge it.
Just want to commend you girls. You should be incredibly proud of yourselves, especially in this, environment, again, so underrepresented by girls and women. And the fact that you're this close to having something on the market, because you can go to universities, just echoing what was said from the over here. There is the potential is unlimited, and you can partner with them and say, hey, we have a solution for you in helping your athletic department, what have you. I would start counting the pavement and just seeing if there's interest out there and get fired up and inspired to take it all the way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tess. All right, that concludes Demo Day. Can we get one more round of applause for all of our wonderful student entrepreneurs? I'm so proud of all of you. If you want to get involved in the Venture Incubator as a mentor, as a sponsor, if you think some of these ideas deserve investment, please email me, eglassman@SCH. Thank you for coming out. Thanks for attending. We appreciate your time, and we'll see you in the spring. Have a good evening.